Okay, guys, this is part 2 of English 7. And so let's continue looking here. I was telling you that what you need to do is find the dependent clauses. That means you're looking for your relative pronouns that are introducing a clause, or you're looking for your subordinating conjunctions that are introducing a clause. Remember those words. Those are who, whom, whose, which, or that. Those are our relative pronouns. And then we have as if, although, because, since. Those are just a few of our subordinating conjunctions. These are words that we memorized earlier. Now, let's continue looking at this. Number 7, the basketball coach who also coaches soccer teaches my history class. Find your prepositional phrases, okay? When you look through there, you see that there aren't any. Do you see a clause, a dependent clause? Okay, look at the beginning of your sentence. The first word is the. That is not an subordinating conjunction, so we know that doesn't begin with one. So we kind of look through there and we see the word who. Now, notice that you have a comma after coach and a comma after soccer. So look at the words between the commas. Who also coach soccer? That's a clause. Put brackets around that, okay? What is the word who? Is it a subordinated conjunction or a relative pronoun? It's a relative pronoun. It's one of those 5 words. Remember, there's 4 W's and a TH, okay? Now, look inside your clause. What's the verb? Coaches. Who or what coaches? Who coaches, okay? So who is the subject of our clause? Look outside. Look at your independent clause. The basketball coach teaches my history class. What's the verb? Teaches. Who teaches? Coach teaches. So I have one independent clause, one dependent clause. So my sentence is complex. Look at number 8. The Volga River, which is the longest river in Europe, flows through 8 countries. Okay? Prepositional phrases in Europe, through 8 countries. Okay? Now, do you see a clause? Hopefully you see the clause, which is the longest river in Europe. Put brackets around that. What's your subject and verb inside the clause? The verb is, who or what is, which is. That's our clause. That's our dependent clause. Now look at our independent clause. The Volga River flows. What's the verb? Flows. Who or what flows? River flows. Okay? Or the Volga River flows. Okay? River is actually our subject. Volga is an adjective, but we'll talk about that later. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, okay? Do you see the clause? If you tell the truth. If is a subordinating conjunction, so it introduces our clause. Put brackets around it. What is the subject and verb of your dependent clause? You tell. Now look at your independent clause, the clause that can stand by itself. You don't have to remember anything. What's the verb? Do have. Who or what do have? You do have. So I have one independent clause, one dependent clause. My sentence is complex. Look at the last one. Since the wind is so strong, all planes are grounded for now. What is your dependent clause? Since the wind is so strong. What's the subject and verb of your dependent clause? Wind is. What is your independent clause? All planes are grounded for now. What's the verb? Are grounded. Who or what are grounded? Planes. Planes is the subject. That is a complex sentence. Now let's review for just a second. If you have a simple sentence, you have one independent clause. You have a subject and a verb. Now you could have a compound subject or a compound verb, but you have one dependent clause, okay? That is simple. If you have a compound sentence, you're going to have a subject, verb, subject, verb. It must be in that order, because remember, between the subject and verb, what's going to be here? Your conjunction, okay? So you have subject, verb, comma, conjunction, subject, verb. In this case, you have a what? You have a compound sentence.
Here, you have a simple, I should probably write those out for you. Simple sentence. What if you have a complex sentence? How do I get a complex sentence? I have to have one independent clause, and which is going to be what? A subject and a verb. Then I'm going to have a dependent clause. This is going to begin, this dependent clause is going to begin with a relative pronoun. Whose, who, whom, which, that, or it's going to begin with a subordinating conjunction, okay? This is going to be complex. Now, we're going to talk about one last type of sentence tomorrow, okay? We're going to make sure that you're ready for this test. You will have a test next week on this, okay, on these sentence types. And of course, then you'll have your final, and sentence types will be on there, all right? Have a good day, guys.